Hey, it's John Tardy with Obituary. You're listening to FearShock.com.
The FearShock.com Metal Podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode number 28 of the FearShop.com Metal Podcast. And with you as always is Mike here. We've got a very special interview today, one of the guys that I really dig in metal. It's John Tardy from Obituary. He's the founder, singer, so whatever you want to call him, is the jack of all trades there. So after the break, we're just going to get right into the interview with John Tardy. Thanks.
Hey FearShop.com Metal Podcast fans, come check out our new metal shirts. We have new Maiden tour shirts and also new Slayer, Suicide, Silence, Cradle of Filth, Motorhead, and Charred Walls of the Damned. Stop by FearShop.com and shop for yourself or get a gift certificate for that metal-loving friend. Now, back to Mike.
We're here with John Tardy of Obituary here. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the history of Obituary for fans who might not be up to speed with what you guys are doing? I know there's a lot.
How much time do we have?
I got all night. I don't know about you.
No, you know what? We've been having a good run at this for a while now. We've been, been together for about 25 years, and they've had some good time along the way. Our first album came out in '89, I think, which was Slowly Rot, and we've just been kind of continuing through the years. A couple times we took a little break here and there between some of our albums, but I think that's just good for us. And it's nice. Me, Donald, and Trevor have been together the whole time. We've gone through pretty much big. One of our guitar players has kind of come and gone a little bit, and we finally settled down with Ralph. And we just recently changed out our bass player with Terry Butler. But for the most part, Donald, Trevor, and I have been together the whole time, which is nice. And
go ahead, sorry.
That's all right. And we just
you go ahead
with what we're doing.
Yeah. Are there ever any tensions with being in a band with your brother and all? I know I couldn't do it, so I don't know.
Well, me and Donald and I get together pretty good. We really don't argue that much. We're kind of so similar that we just kind of, do things the same wherever we're going. So we usually share. We even wind up sharing rooms. For sharing rooms at hotels and stuff like that. Usually he and I kind of teamed up. So we're kind of so similar that we get along pretty good.
Yeah, cool. You're about to start touring, right?
Well, we've actually been, we've been really busy all summer long. So we're really not touring, although we're leaving on Monday. We're playing a show in Costa Rica and a show in Guatemala.
Okay.
There were supposed to be another few shows down there, but one in Nicaragua and one somewhere else, but those didn't wind up happening for whatever reason. But we're still doing the two shows, so we're going down there and have a good time and play a couple of shows. But we kind of set aside some time here through the end of the year to work on music. So we've been trying to write some new music, both Obituary and Donald and I also have a project.
The Tardy Brothers are doing that too.
Yeah, so we've been messing around trying to get some of that music written also. So it's been nice to be at home for a little bit, hanging out and writing some music.
Yeah, I was actually curious about that because I thought I had heard like months ago that you guys were writing, and then.
Yeah, well, I may have said something, because we start, but we get interrupted so much between what Obituary does, and we got to take off and go and stuff like that. It takes us a while, and nor do we hurry because we're not really out to hurry through it or anything like that. But it's pretty cool. We've been jamming with Matt, who's a guitar player for Sabotage. He plays with John Oliva. And he's been coming over and jamming with us, so he's probably going to be one of the guitarists that gets some spots on the new record also. But we're just taking our time and having fun with it. And that's the whole purpose of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I hear you. You're going to do 70,000 tons of metal, right?
Yes, we are.
Do you know anything about that yet? I was just talking to Chuck Billy, and he was just like, we don't know when we're playing, how long we're playing.
I don't know. I mean, there's not a set list per se that's going around yet, but I just know we're playing one show over, to Mexico and another show on the way back. So as far as the schedule itself, that that's yet to be. I'm sure they got their hands full trying to get everybody together, and it's going to be that's going to be a mess. I think it's going to be a test of what band members can stay sober enough to play their show. If you got to play late enough, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Boat all day.
You're putting hundreds of musicians on a boat with the only worst thing they could do is have like an open bar or something.
It's going to be it is going to be interesting to say the least. So.
I can imagine how that's gonna be a ball for the fans. I know that. I mean,
it's going to be crazy. It is going to be crazy, and I think even for the musicians too. I think we're going to have a good time. Because it's like most of the time on festivals, you show up, and you see each other all day, and always have a good time. It's fun. For us anyway, with the big festivals that we do, because we get to play with a whole bunch of bands. A lot of bands that a lot of times the only time we run into them is at these festivals. But you just you hang out for the day and the evening or something. You have a ball, and you always got to say goodbye in one day. So to be together for 3 days, it'd be nice to really get some, to hang out with some people that we really like to do that with. So.
That list of bands is amazing. Wow,
it's getting crazy, right?
Oh man, are you at the point where you're going to be playing any of the new songs live, or you're not even that far along yet?
Nah, we're not that far. We got tons of ideas written down and stuff, but we're just. We're just starting, scratching the surface here, especially a lot of the Obituary stuff. Donald and I always have junk going on, as far as that stuff, but as far as Obituary goes, we got a handful of kind of things rattled around here and there on the Pro Tools and stuff, and we'll kind of keep picking at it, but nothing's going to be ready. Well, you know what, by the time the boat comes, we'll probably have some songs kind of ready, but we won't be playing any of those live.
Yeah, no. You're still doing a home studio, right? You have your own studio?
Yeah, we really are having a ball. It makes our life so much easier to have that right here at my house and be able to walk outside and just record at any given time. It's just the greatest thing. So we're really having a ball with it.
Yeah, I'm still reeling from the fact that these labels are making the bands pay for studio time and all. It's just,
wow. Things have changed so much from when we first, had an album out. In fact, I had some kids over here recording tracking some drums over here, and they're real young bands, and they're asking me all these questions about, how, what they should do for a record deal and this and that. I'm just like, I would cringe to have to start over again now, because we used to be able to go out and we would get, we'd spend $100,000 in the studio. Yeah. Nowadays, I mean, we couldn't, there's just no way. Record labels don't give out any money because they don't sell any records. So it's just, it's really, really weird to think about how much has changed and just how much gets affected by, just people downloading so much music off the internet for free that people just don't buy the amount of CDs they used to. And it's really changed things a lot. It makes things real difficult on these bands. So.
Yeah, I mean, to see like some of these albums that are coming out, like number 5 or something, and then they're like, okay, well that sold like 1,500 records. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's it? It's just nuts the way everything's going. I mean, for one thing, the internet's good for bands, so obviously you have a lot more exposure and a lot more people can see you. But then, I mean, the whole thing with the piracy is just absolutely crazy.
It is, it's just, I mean, you can't, it's just to the point where you can't even release a record, because as soon as we finish it and hand it to the, and just hand out a handful of copies to just some journalists, it's like, it's on the internet 3 months before we can even get it on the shelf.
Yeah.
And, people that want to say, oh, it doesn't really affect it. Well, you're all crazy, because it does. But, it is what it is. That's the way it's going to happen. So that's why bands got to tour more. They got to charge more. They got to charge more for merchandise. And they got to find out other ways to make up for their loss in album sales. But it makes it difficult for a lot of reasons also, because a lot of times bands, you could go out and people would pay to get on tours, to be on tour with a big band and stuff like that. But that's because you're thinking that when you get back home, you're going to sell some records. But when those record sales don't happen, it's tough to do a lot of the things you used to be able to do.
I know I get the advances of the CDs because of the podcast and all. Whatever, I'll post on Twitter or Facebook or something, checking out, whatever, the new Agalloch or something that sounds really good. People are like, oh, yeah, I heard that a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I get the advances. How did you get it before me? I'm like, come on.
It's just absolutely, viral how it just immediately takes off. As soon as that, all it takes is the one copy, and it just